It's time now for some business news, and Yuka Royer from our business desk is with me here on set for that. And we're starting out in the US, where Donald Trump has taken his first steps towards dismantling the work of his predecessor. That's Obamacare.
That's right. The White House says the president will cut off subsidies to health insurance companies for low-income patients. The decision is the most dramatic action Trump has taken yet to weaken the Affordable Care Act. He has been frustrated by Republicans' failure to repeal and replace President Obama's signature healthcare law, which extended insurance to 20 million Americans. Earlier on Thursday, Donald Trump signed an executive order to make it easier for people to buy bare-bones health insurance policies. Attorneys general in New York and California have already threatened to fight back with lawsuits.
Well, staying in North America, Canadian leader Justin Trudeau is in Mexico a day after meeting the US president.
The Canadian Prime Minister met with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto in Mexico City, the two reaffirming their commitment to a trilateral renegotiation of the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, despite threats from Donald Trump that the US will walk away. ALISON SARGENT has more.
Presenting a united front, the Canadian and Mexican leaders brushed off doubts about the future of NAFTA after the U.S. president put forward a series of hardline demands.
We will not be walking away from the table based on proposals put forward. We will discuss those proposals. We will counter those proposals, and we will take seriously these negotiations.
The most contentious of Donald Trump's proposals is a so-called sunset clause, requiring NAFTA to be renegotiated every 5 years. He also wants to require that more auto parts be produced in the U.S. and shift more government contracts to U.S. companies. While the Canadian and Mexican leaders remained upbeat, they also made it clear they're not willing to swallow the proposals, which the U.S.'s own Chamber of Commerce has called a poison pill.
Mexico is counting on achieving a good agreement, but it will be important for this agreement to be positive and good for all three parties. It can't be good only for one, and we cannot be held hostage by a single point of view. We really want to get a good agreement.
Uncertainty over NAFTA's future sent the Mexican peso down to a 5-month low.
That was ALISON SARGENT reporting there. Let's check in now on the global financial markets for you now. Yuka, how are things looking at this hour?
Well, trading has got off to a quiet start here in Europe as investors remain concerned about what will happen in Catalonia next. Major bourses are all near the flat line at this hour, as you can see. London's FTSE slightly down, and Asian shares earlier also mostly inched up, encouraged by some positive economic data coming out of China. In Tokyo, Nikkei rallied on the back of some strong corporate results. However, shares of Kobe Steel plunged again as concerns rise. Its fake safety data scandal may widen even further. Now, some more of the day's business headlines for you now. And the head of Samsung Electronics has stepped down, saying the company is facing an unprecedented crisis. His departure comes even as the South Korean tech giant set its operating profit in the last quarter nearly tripled over a year earlier to a new record. Kwon On-hoon has been the public face of Samsung since its de facto leader was jailed in August on corruption charges. China's trade growth accelerated in September in a sign that it still enjoys strong global and domestic consumer demand. Now, new data show exports rose 8.1%, up from August's 5.5%. Imports also rose. The latest figures defy forecasters' expectations that economic growth would slow this year, as Beijing tightens controls on bank lending to rein in surging debt. Bitcoin has soared more than 4% after a 13% gain on Thursday. It broke through the $5,800 mark to a new record high. The virtual currency is now worth 4 times more than it was a year ago. The rise comes after the currency tumbled last month on increased scrutiny from regulators.
And finally, from you, Yuka, the Hollywood sexual harassment scandal surrounding Harvey Weinstein has now widened, and Amazon has suspended its top executive.
His name is Roy Price, and the head of Amazon Studios has been put on a leave of absence following allegations that he harassed a producer and ignored an actress's claim of a sexual assault by Harvey Weinstein. Amazon says it's reviewing its options for the projects it has with Weinstein's company. Prices removal creates uncertainty when Amazon is investing more than ever on video content. It's investing $4.5 billion this year.
Yuka Waye, thank you very much for that look at the latest business and finance news.